Internet crew, let me introduce to you a synthesizer called Anna 2. This video is a sort of first look slash review, and basically showing you my favorite features. This is one of those 5 or 6 best synths in the world, alongside things like Icarus, not replacements for Serum, but doing a few things in particular, 5 or 6 things that Serum can't do, and therefore once you have Serum, or maybe you want to do something different to everybody else, that is when you want to look at something like this. And very quickly, just before I show you the features, here's some proof. It makes all the different types of sounds across every genre. I'm going to put you in the middle. Now, as I said, this is a very, very full-featured synth. It does everything you'd expect. Tons of oscillators, filters, effects, and a million ways to modulate things. But in terms of unique features, one thing I'm really enjoying is the fact you get not just 1, but 3 samplers, 4, 5, and 6. Oscillators, 4, 5, and 6. And just like Serum, you can choose from clicks, drum transients, various different types of noises, as well as some really cool ones like these vinyl guys. But what's really cool is you get multiple of these. So you can have maybe a vinyl crackle on sampler or oscillator 4, but then on sampler 5, a cool little percussive noise to give it that bit of extra boink at the start of the sound, but not at the expense of having this sustained vinyl sound. Really, really cool. Totally forgot to show you this earlier, so I might put this now or edit it backwards. We'll find out. The sampler, you can drag and drop your own samples in, and of course you can route everything separately. So if you want, say, oscillator 4 to go to filter 1, you can do so, but oscillator 5 to go to filter 2, you can do that as powerful as you need. You could even say stick the filters in parallel. So sampler 4 has one filter and sampler 5 has another filter. And it's actually even cleverer still. It's well thought out. So you can see here, for example, choose some noise. Water. We'll go for key track. We'll go for water. Now notice this high pass guy. So I can high pass or low cut this, filtering out those lower frequencies, which is something you almost always do, something you should always do when using something like this in a synth preset. As that low end rumble normally doesn't contribute much, or bumped into this, as the low end rumble doesn't normally contribute to the sound. So as simple as that is, just having that simple high pass control on there, what that does is mean you don't have to use one of these filters. For high passing, if you're in, say, Serum and you wanted to do a similar thing with the noise, you'd have to use that filter, but then you've used the filter and you can't use that filter for something else. It's well thought out, and that's why I like it. Use this morph, like you'd imagine wavetable position. G envelopes for graphical, or if you like, giraffe envelopes. So you see, let's make it bigger. That's what she said. You can draw things. Oh, do a click and a drag. Do a click and a, oh, what's going on over there? Ah, dragging it about. Oh, you can make it curvy too. Look at that. Hold Alt and you can drag and see how it snaps to the grid, which is super cool. Magic. So you can draw in riffs and patterns and fun. Or choose one of the many presets. Again, super cool. A wub. You can do that. Oh, I really like it. I mean, yes, you can do this in Serum, but you can't in almost every other synthesizer. But it's also bigger. That's what she said. And you can change the grid size, and you've got all these millions of modulation destinations, all of which is what you'd expect. Fantastic visual feedback, you can see. You can even change it here, which is super cool. Now, Anna 2 has a thing called CMD. Very confusing, because that's also what command is called on your Macintosh computer, but it's nothing to do with that. It stands for Chord Memory Device. You can click it, and simplistically allows you to play one note on a keyboard and then have a chord come out in varying different ways, which you can configure naturally. I have 2 favorite things here, 2 insights. First of all, these presets. So while yes, you can configure your own chord situations, you can, as a fun way to get things going, how do I choose the simplest one first of all? Choose a chord, and then you play a single note and a chord pops out. Brilliant. That was the simplest example, just to demonstrate. You can see one note becomes your classic, your very most standardist major triad, and you get a whole bunch of more complicated ones too, a whole bunch of chaos and ting, and you get these multi ones. So new disco, for example. Notice some of the keyboard isn't a chord, but the ones with the dots are chords. Fantastic. Instant song, and you can vibe it, freestyle funsies and ting. That's cool, but this is This is something I've never seen before. Its name is Strum. It's one of my favorite features. What you do, turn it on, click, I like this one. Then the mod, I'll show you here first. The mod wheel, so if I make that a mod wheel and figure out which note to press, and chromatic. So as I press a note, so this will be that one. As I then manipulate the mod wheel, you see how it's strumming the chord? I like to use a real mod wheel for this. So I've got the mod wheel here. I don't know if you can see. I think you can see. I have the mod wheel here on the Control S Series Mark II keyboard. So, ooh. Ah. Remember, mod wheel strums the notes, almost like a guitar. Ooh. And so, admit it, that is very cool. It's just a very different and interesting and fun and creative way to play different types of things. It's expressive too. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? It's expressive. It's expressive too. I will do some shouting so you can hopefully still hear. It's also expressive. You can express emotion in your performance. Velocity sensitive too. Running over the cable, maniac. It's creatively inspiring because it's a different way of interacting with the sounds. I like it, and you can, in fact, if you turn Strum off, you can combine this CMD chord memory device with the arpeggiator, which is crazy powerful. I mean, it's far too complicated to go into now. And maybe most powerfully, setting this apart from an arpeggiator MIDI effect, you can use all this to modulate other things too. So you can get your sound to modulate consistently with your arpeggiator sequence, which is super cool. And there's 2 modulation targets, so you can do 2 things. Now, furthermore, in fact, there's one more most insightful comment coming. Less insightfully, but useful to know. These effects down here, you can turn them off and on and drag them about willy-nilly. Effects which sound fantastic. You can see to sort of drag them about and stuff. Not to mention these sends over here, so you can send different amounts of different things. More interestingly though, in fact, let me choose an effect. A simple sawtooth wave going through a plate reverb. The final thing I want to show you what I'm most excited about, or one of the many things I'm excited about, is the range of non-standard filters. Those familiar with synthesis will know how important the filters are. They're as important as the oscillators, maybe even more important at times. Anna 2 has a range of analog filters. You see here, these guys, some really cool vowel ones. But also these other ones, which do a range of cool things, some of which unique to Anna 2. All passes 20 poles, and I'll assign a slow envelope. Oh, brilliant. 40 poles. Beautiful. In fact, this is really cool as well. You can change the envelope curve type using these drop downs here. Really cool. Anna 2 is fantastic. If it was an elephant, it would be elephantastic. And so if you're looking for a full featured synth that can make any of the normal sounds and give you full control, this is a good option. It's basically really cool. I like it. The things it does differently inspire different ideas. And even if you're doing the normal things, using low pass filters in unison, normal ADSR effects, etc., it sounds as good as literally anything. It's in that very, as I say, the very top category of synthesizer. My name has been Multiplier, and I will catch you guys on the flippity flip.